But first, let's put a quick shout out to www.noblegoldinvestments.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestments.com. Reign in wealth like King Charles with a gold IRA from Noble Gold Investments. Just as King Charles, his magnificent golden crown symbolizes his wealth and power, a gold IRA can fortify your own financial kingdom. Imagine the confidence that comes from a retirement backed by a tangible, proven asset, gold, and assets that's not at the mercy of unpredictable stock market swings. A crown may not be included, but isn't a future free of financial stress worthy of a throne? Like royalty, enjoy the luxury of choice. You can choose gold or silver, platinum or palladium. The realm is yours to command. Fend off those concerns about economic downturns and let your wealth thrive with the timeless security of precious metals. This month, they're going to give away a 1/4 of an ounce. It's not this one, because it's a 1/4 of an ounce gold coin like this, except it is the first ever issued King Charles III image on, and it will be yours for you to keep. A collector's item, and it's 1/4 of an ounce of gold. You'll get it if you set up a gold IRA or roll over your 401k of $50,000 or higher. A lot of you have that in your retirement funds. This could be a way to protect it. People are saying they're tired of losing their inheritance, or not inheritance, they're losing their retirement funds because of the erosion, because of the downturns in the market. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold. Go to www.noblegoldinvestments.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestments.com. Or pick up the phone and call them at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. And tell them that Pastor Paul Begley sent you there.
In recent weeks, Special Counsel Jack Smith has utilized limited immunity to compel at least 2 Republican individuals posing as electors to testify before a federal grand jury in Washington, D.C. This action is part of an ongoing effort by federal prosecutors to expeditiously gather evidence in an extensive criminal investigation surrounding attempts to overturn the 2020 U.S. presidential election. Sources familiar with the situation have described the testimony to CNN. It marks a notable shift from a year of relative inactivity regarding the investigation into the fake electors, as numerous related witnesses are now being summoned to appear before the grand jury without the possibility of delay. This surge in activity may indicate that investigators are approaching decisions regarding potential charges within the scope of the 2020 election inquiry, as reported by CNN in an exclusive article. Concurrently, the special counsel's office has recently filed charges against former President Donald Trump for his handling of classified documents. During the spring, prosecutors initially obtained documents and conducted interviews with many Republicans who submitted false certificates to the federal government, falsely claiming to be legitimate electors for Trump in 7 crucial states won by Joe Biden. In recent weeks, prosecutors have taken a firm stance with some witnesses, refusing to grant extensions for grand jury subpoenas and demanding compliance by the end of this month. In cases where witnesses have been granted immunity, the special counsel's office has arrived at the Washington courthouse prepared to enforce their testimony after these individuals indicated their intent to invoke the Fifth Amendment and refused to answer questions. In a decisive 8-1 verdict announced on Friday, the Supreme Court revived the immigration guidelines of the Biden administration that outline the priorities for deporting non-citizens. This ruling dismisses the challenge put forth by 2 Republican state attorney generals, who contended that these policies were in conflict with immigration law. The court declared that the states, namely Texas and Louisiana, lacked the legal standing to initiate the lawsuit in the first place, as reported by CNN. This ruling will provide further clarification on the circumstances under which a state can challenge a federal policy in court in the future. President Joe Biden and the White House consider this ruling a significant triumph, as they have consistently advocated for the necessity of prioritizing the detention and deportation of individuals due to limited resources. The Supreme Court's decision reinforces the criteria for when states can contest federal policies they disagree with. It is worth noting that the Biden administration's policy had been halted by a federal judge almost 2 years ago, and the Supreme Court declined to remove that injunction last year. Justice Brett Kavanaugh authored the majority opinion for Friday's ruling. The escalating conflict between Kosovo and Serbia is posing a significant crisis for the United States and Western leaders who are already grappling with the largest land war in Europe since World War II. As the conflict in Ukraine intensifies, Washington finds itself in a delicate position, attempting to navigate through a series of violent clashes and escalating tensions within the independent state of Kosovo. These tensions have remained unresolved for over a month since the outbreak of the conflict, The Hill has reported. Last week, the situation worsened when Serbia, the neighboring country, placed its military forces on high alert and detained 3 Kosovoan police officers despite international calls for their release. In response, Kosovo closed its borders with Serbia. Compounding the issue, the leaders of both Kosovo and Serbia have refused to engage in negotiations with each other. This has triggered an emergency in the Western Balkans, adding further complexity and urgency to an already challenging time for Western leaders. Yevgeny Prigozhin, the individual who owns the Wagner paramilitary group, has accused Russia's military of conducting missile strikes on his training camps and causing significant casualties among his troops. He vowed to retaliate, thereby raising the possibility of a direct conflict within Russia, the Wall Street Journal has reported. However, the Ministry of Defense in Moscow has refuted his allegations, categorizing them as an, quote, informational provocation. Additionally, the General Prosecutor's Office has initiated a criminal case against Prigozhin, charging him with orchestrating a mutiny. Russia's FSB security service has urged Wagner's forces to apprehend Prigozhin. At present, there is no independent video evidence available to substantiate Prigozhin's assertions.